I think my F34 husband, M36, is addicted to robotripping. Where do I even begin? I'm using a throwaway because, although I haven't revealed this strange situation to anyone IRL, I fear it may somehow become connected to me or my husband. The last thing I want to do is embarrass him. I just feel like outside advice, even the advice of Redditors, may provide me some semblance of insight. Okay, onto the story. My F34 husband, M36, is extremely intelligent, well-rounded, and well-adjusted, or so I thought. He is college-educated. He is in his mid-30s and has 4 degrees including a doctorate. We have no debt outside of the house we bought a few years ago and we both like our jobs. We have no children, but that is our choice. We do often have nieces and nephews in our home and I always have rescue animals. This is enough for us and we're both on the same page. We've been married for almost 10 years, together for 13, and I feel like we both lead generally fulfilling lives, which is why I am significant other confused. For the uninitiated, robotripping is a thing that I thought only broke, desperate 13-year-olds did. It is getting high on Robitussin, cough syrup. I have done my fair share of drugs including some of the hard ones, but I will admit that taking Robitussin never appealed to me even when other peers in high school were doing it. It definitely is still a thing. As a teenager, I once walked in on a friend of mine passed out from a Robitussin trip, and it took almost 5 minutes of violent shaking to wake him up. Not that it appealed to me before, but that was just the cherry on top. I've actually shared that story with my husband before. At the time, he laughed at how ridiculous it was. On to my husband. Over the past 4 or 5 months, he's been complaining about being tired. He's started taking a lot of days off work, spending all day in bed. I asked him to go to the doctor but he says he's just overwhelmed and needs a break. He can work from home 1-2 days a week if he wants. The problem is that he's not working. He sleeps 12+ hours most days. At first, I thought that he had a chronic condition or was depressed, but that's not it. I started to smell this sickly sweet odor coming off on him, especially when he breathed. I smelled it on the sheets and on his clothes. He started to look and feel sweaty and sticky and complained of being hot or having a fever. And then it happened. I came home from work early, surprised to see his car was at home, yet again. I guess I was really quiet walking in, and he didn't hear the door. When I stepped into our bedroom to greet him, he was literally chugging cough syrup on the floor. Our rescue chihuahua, Minnie, name changed for privacy lol, was staring at him with what looked like deep concern and exasperation. It was as if this was routine. He was a deer in the headlights. He turned to me and said, "I'm not feeling well." He looked dazed and ill and wobbly when he tried to stand up. I just nodded and went to heat him up some broth because that is what I always do for him when he's sick. The sight freaked me out so much that I started looking in our trash cans and under the bed and in other little alcoves around the house, etc. I found 10+ bottles of empty Robitussin in various trash cans in our house over the next week or so. He seems to have improved slightly after I caught him. I can tell he is still drinking Robitussin every day. He can barely keep his eyes open, but I get the impression he is white-knuckling his way through the day as to portray this illusion of normalcy. When I get home, he will stand up and get off the couch and try to do laundry or cook dinner, but he can barely keep his eyes open. I keep finding bottles of cough syrup. Yesterday, I told him that I thought he had a problem and should seek professional help. I brought up the fact that he is missing a kidney, birth defect, and has some other genetic issues, asthma, high blood pressure, and was reading how high amounts of Robitussin can exacerbate problems. He has been spending a lot of time in the bathroom. Presumably, he is drinking cough syrup in there, but I assume he is also throwing up or constipated or whatever other complications arise from drinking a gallon of freaking Robitussin every day. I mentioned that I cared about him and supported him and would be happy to take over the financial burden of the household for a time if he needs to go somewhere. We talked for hours about this and I feel like I was saying all the right things. I have had multiple family members OD and die and as such, have had these sorts of addiction conversations before. He listened but I could tell he wasn't really there. I asked his opinion after every point. He had nothing to say. Eventually, he said he was going to bed, reiterating that he was just in a funk. He claimed he's been drinking only the recommended amount of Robitussin per day only to help him sleep. I know that's not true. In the past, we had Robitussin in the house and it lasted us like 2+ years. He seems to be going through multiple bottles per week. What can I do? Would a detox or rehab even accept a patient addicted to Robitussin? I have heard horror stories about this type of thing. I don't want him to die or permanently damage his organs, but I also don't want to bring this up to our friends or family because it would surely embarrass him. To me, this feels more dangerous than even a coke or a painkiller addiction. It's perfectly legal and there aren't really regulations on buying cough medicine if you're an adult. I have considered looking through his financial statements. We have personal accounts as well as a joint. Even though that seems like a huge breach of trust just to see how much he's spending at pharmacies. It scares me. I have no idea when this started, but it's clear it's been progressing for a while. Does anyone have advice on how to proceed gently with this? Too long did not read. My husband is addicted to drinking and getting high on cough syrup and refuses to admit he has a problem. I have nowhere to turn and no one to talk to about this madness. It honestly amazes me that people for some reason equate high academic performance and no financial stress not compatible with addiction. Addiction is endemic across all IQs, wealth, cultures. Look at anesthetists and drug use. He's not in a position to be handled gently. He's killing himself. You need to proceed as though it's not just his reputation on the line, but his life. A rehab would accept him. But if he isn't willing to admit he's an addict and change, nothing is going to work. You need to decide if this is something you want to try and help with. There's no shame if it's not. Addiction is a lifelong struggle, and it's hard to watch someone you love go through it. If you want to, you need help. Dig those bottles out of the trash. Count them. And get someone he trusts, someone he might listen to, show them how bad it is, and get them on board with helping. You absolutely need to start going to Al-Anon meetings. They have them online. They are support for people with a loved one in addiction. He needs an intervention. The way he's living isn't sustainable. I'm so sorry you have to deal with this. I was always annoyed at having to buy NyQuil in the States because in Europe anything that actually works against cough has been removed from the pharmacies because of risk of addiction. I guess it makes sense now. I didn't even know this was a thing. Your husband needs help and you can't give it to him unless he's in on it. You had to treat it like any other addiction. This makes me so sad. I used to drink. I became the embarrassment, the nightmare. I feel so badly for where this man is right now. I was there once. I quit, but not before I almost lost everyone. The cost to those who stayed was very high. I wish I could just drag people out of the shadowy cold periphery of addiction. It feels so terrible to be there. He has to do it on his own. I'm so sorry. All you can do is try be that broken record and try to keep him accountable. But realize you may need to walk away to get him to the place he needs to be to quit. Don't lose yourself, as well, or you can't help anyone. Hang in there. The only way forward is through love. He needs rehab. Like now. I had a friend who went that route. Except it was curate tablets. The substance that causes the high is DXM, dextromorphin, which is the cough suppressant. Get him the help now because large quantities of DXM can cause psychosis. It's a scary path. I watched my previously best friend lose himself to that drug. He ended up choosing the drug over family, girlfriend, work. My boyfriend, 26 male, is pressuring me to quit my job, 21 female, help? My boyfriend and I have been together for a little over a year now and have been talking about getting an apartment together. We are 6 hours away from each other and I drive up every weekend. It would just make more sense for me to stay there. I have a really good job, great benefits, I enjoy the work and I get paid what I believe I am worth. I value this company and I am proud to work there. There is a really good chance they'll let me go remote, and I am waiting another 3-6 months to establish myself a bit more and gain the confidence to work from home. My boyfriend is fully aware of this. So he decided to jump the gun and got an apartment for us and told me I had 30 days to get there before we had to split the bills. I was shocked. 30 days? I told him I needed a few months? He visibly got upset and told me he didn't want to be alone in this apartment and he thought I would be coming sooner. I told him I need to keep my job. It's only a few more months and I will still pay my half of the bills. I am starting to get a little irritated with everything. I'm still going to be moving there. I am helping pay bills. I drive up every single weekend. And he still continues to badger me about quitting my job every given opportunity. He keeps saying he's so lonely and it's so quiet. He struggles with depression and he's never really been alone. Always surrounded by friends and family. I feel like crap because I know that's how he gets, but I refuse to throw my job away for a relationship. I love my partner, he truly is everything I ever wanted and so much more, and he means no harm by anything he's doing, but he clearly doesn't respect my career and the passion I have for it. I can get pretty harsh when talking about things I am upset about and I really don't want to hurt his feelings, but I need him to understand I will not leave my job. How can I nicely but firmly make him understand my job and our future is more important than having me around for shits and giggles right now? Too long did not read. My long-distance boyfriend wants me to quit my job to move in with him after telling him over and over I will not leave my job until I am able to go remote. How do I get him to understand without making him feel bad? Pick yourself over a relationship. The right person will never put you in a position where you have to choose in the first place, so that's already a red flag. Honestly, he sounds abusive. This is the first step. Isolating you so you are away from friends and family and dependent on him. A decent guy would never have done this. A decent guy would have listened to your completely reasonable viewpoint and gone with that. Are you sure that this person is everything you have ever wanted? Someone who ignores your opinion, who wants their own way and does not care what impact it has on you. I don't understand why you are doing all the traveling. My advice would be to end it now. Otherwise it's likely to end in tears and trauma for you. Please don't do that to yourself. Without making him feel bad. No, you should be making him feel bad, because what he's asking you to do is absolutely insane. And that's not even getting into the fact he did it without talking to you and simply expected you to jump when he snapped his fingers. I'd be putting off moving out to him completely and telling him you'll be saving money by not doing 12+ hours of driving a week to him because you need time to rethink a relationship where he doesn't consider you an equal partner at all. He can use that extra time to think about what he's done and maybe go make some friends outside of you. That's wildly controlling. No. No 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 no. Wild red flags with this. Who does he think he is? 1. This is the worst job market since 2008. 2. Why should you? 3. This sounds like the start of some controlling behavior. 4. Ditch him and find someone closer to home. Why are you the one that's always making the trip to see him? This guy is bad news. Don't ruin your life before it even starts, trust me. The right guy will support you and live locally. I, 27F, broke up with my 28M boyfriend because he was unemployed. How'd I overcome the guilt? In April, I, 27F, broke up with my boyfriend, 28M, of 5 years because he never had a job the whole time we were together, and was not actively looking at finding work. Other than this, we were a perfect couple. We had our whole lives planned out together. The breakup is destroying him and I feel terrible about it. At the end of the day, he wasn't bringing out the best in himself or in myself. I was always worried about how we were going to build a future together when he wasn't earning any income. He was getting by with thanks to rich parents, but this didn't sit well with me at all. I want to be with someone who is ambitious, has strong life goals and inspires me to be the best version of myself. I felt like the only way I could get him to get his shit together was to leave. The stress of not knowing if he was ever going to find a career was way too much. I'm a lot happier now. Not having to worry about him and how he's going to be able to support a family, etc. But it's eating me up that I'm thriving and he is struggling. I feel selfish and like I should have stuck by his side, but I waited 5 years and he never took the initiative to get his life figured out. I guess I've been wondering if I made the right choice. I feel guilty about it every day, because he is not doing very well right now. He feels like he's lost everything. I'd love some insight from people who have been in a similar position, where they loved the person they were with, but that person wasn't good for them. How are you now after the breakup? Was it worth it? I was the guy who wasn't good for her. It destroyed me when she left. It also inspired me to fix my shit and I'm a much better person now. He just needs to go through it and you shouldn't save him from it. I'm a lot happier now. Not having to worry about him and how he's going to be able to support a family, etc. It's totally understandable because he was someone you really cared about and wanted the best for, but it had been 5 years. So while all of the conflicting feelings are very understandable, this sentence makes it pretty definitive that you made the right choice. He had 5 years to change his ways and didn't. You're better off for sure. Don't look back. He is struggling because of the decisions he has made. Not you. Your life is yours to live. Never let another person stunt your progress. 6 months, yeah, they might be in a rut. 5 years they're making that choice time and time again. You weren't the perfect couple. You both have 2 different sets of values, different levels of ambitions and how to obtain future goals. That's a pretty big difference. It's incompatibility. He's going to struggle because he has never stood on his own 2 feet. His parents enabled him, and then he had you. This will actually be good for him in the long run as long as he decides to take the reins in his own life. You made the right decision for both of you. F34 M40 My husband's wants a trial separation. F34 M40 My husband came to me and told me he wants a separation. He pitched it like he just wants time to work on himself and figure out who he is. We have been together for quite some time. Of course he says he is not interested in pursuing other women, but I need to be ready in case the time apart leads to that. I'm not interested in dating or even considering anybody else in my life. I just feel so hurt and lost right now. Our lives are so enmeshed. I'm struggling with making sense of my feelings. I really just have no self-esteem right now and I feel like I'm just in a hole in a cycle of anxiety and sadness. Can anybody empathize and offer some words of wisdom and encouragement? Sorry, it sounds to me like your husband has someone else already, either already seen them or has plans to pursue a specific person. Give him what he's asked for and then use the time to find a kick-ass divorce lawyer. Be hurt and lost later. This man is checked out of this marriage and he won't be coming back. He's got his eye on someone else and this is a chance to test her out. You need to protect your future. He will already have a plan for the divorce. Don't be stupid here. Your future depends on it. Don't let on, just be sad, reluctantly agree and then get a lawyer. And an STD test. Trial separation? At 40 years old? No, there is more going on that he's keeping from you. This is extremely strange and have never heard or met anyone who has gone through something like this and end up still together. Like I'd be sympathetic to him if his midlife crisis was like, I am going to go on a solo road trip for a few weeks because I have a lot of thinking to do. I'll check in so you don't worry, but I need this for my sanity. Also I will not complain if you need to do something similar. Not great, but time limited, and sometimes everybody just wants to run away and live on their own schedule and feel free for a while. As a married dude, this reads to me like, I'ma move in with the side chick and see if that works out, but he wants to be able to come crawling back if it doesn't. You're young and you deserve better. If he leaves, change the locks and lawyer up. I'm sorry, but your husband is having an affair. There's no way he wants a separation without at least an emotional affair, and most likely a physical one. Please protect yourself financially. Talk to a lawyer. He's highly likely cheating or has someone in mind. Get tested to be on the safe side. Update me.